Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're building a fortress. Now, I'm not talking about stone walls and moats. We're going to break down the modern-day version, the safety protocols and insurance policies that really protect every single construction project from the ground up.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. When you look at a construction site, what do you really see? It's so much more than just a building taking shape, right? It's a huge investment of time, of money, and of human effort. I mean, everything is on the line.
And that brings us to a really crucial question. We all see the obvious stuff, guys working up high on scaffolding, but what are the biggest threats that are actually lurking on the worksite? What are those unseen risks that can bring the entire project to a screeching halt? So let's pull back the curtain on those hidden dangers. I want you to think of every single construction site as an unseen battlefield. And on any battlefield, knowing your enemy, well, that's the first step to winning. It is so important to get this. No project is immune. It doesn't matter if it's a small renovation or a massive skyscraper, risk is just part of the job. The trick isn't pretending it's not there. It's about spotting it, planning for it, and then managing the heck out of it. And what's really helpful is how we can organize all that chaos into 5 key categories. You've got your obvious physical dangers: falls, slips, heavy machinery. But then you have the sneakier threats, things like chemical exposure, biological risks from just the site conditions, and even the long-term strain on your crew from repetitive motions. Take chemical hazards, for instance. We're not just talking about some big, dramatic spill. A lot of the time, it's about the day-in, day-out exposure to solvents and glues, things that pose a really serious and often invisible danger to your crew's health over time if you don't have the right rules in place. And this really shows what happens when safety gets ignored. The fallout is massive. I mean, beyond the tragic human cost of injuries, it sets off this awful chain reaction. Your project gets delayed, costs start to spiral out of control, and you can end up in some serious legal trouble. So, how do you even start to defend your fortress against all these risks? Well, your very first line of defense, your first shield, is a financial one. A really solid insurance plan. All right, this breaks down the 4 essential shields you need in your arsenal. You've got workers' comp to protect your people. General liability, that protects you from third-party claims. Professional liability covers mistakes in the design phase. And builder's risk, that ensures the actual site itself from damage. Each one is designed to guard a totally different part of your project. But here it is. This is maybe the most important takeaway of this whole thing. Insurance is just the shield. And a shield is completely useless if the walls of your fortress, your actual on-site safety rules, are crumbling. The two have to work together perfectly. You have to actually map every single risk to its specific coverage. So, for example, like you see here, the risk of falling from heights, that's covered by workers' comp and general liability. Making these direct connections is how you make sure there are absolutely no gaps in your defense. And this is the kicker. Read that. Failing to enforce your own safety rules, like making sure everyone is actually using their personal protective equipment, can completely void your insurance coverage right when you need it most. Poof, your shield is worthless. So, I really want you to think of your safety gear and your daily procedures not as some chore or a burden. They are the walls of your fortress. They're the active physical defense that protects everyone and everything inside, and they're what give your insurance shield all of its strength. Okay, so how do you make sure your walls are strong and your shields are in the right place? You need a blueprint. You need an action plan. And that plan is the safety audit. This is a really clear 4-step strategy. First, you focus on your highest risk areas. Go where the danger is. Then you verify all your paperwork. After that, you get out there and do inspections to see what's really happening. And finally, when you do find a problem, you dig deep to fix the root cause, not just the symptom. And this step right here, the documentation and verification, this is where the magic happens. This is where you lay your insurance policies right next to your safety reports and your incident logs. It's how you find those dangerous gaps between what your policy says you're doing and what's actually happening on the ground.
And finally, a strong fortress isn't something you just build once and then walk away from. It has to become a living fortress, something that's maintained and strengthened by the people who work inside its walls every single day.
This is what a real culture of safety looks like. It's this constant process. Regular maintenance on your gear, ongoing training, inspections, clear communication, emergency drills.
It's really about making safety a living, breathing part of your project's DNA.
Because in the end, this relentless commitment to building and maintaining your fortress is what gets you to this moment. It ensures that you can confidently and proudly hand over the keys to a project that wasn't just done on time and on budget, but was built on a rock-solid foundation of safety.
So the final question you should ask yourself on any job isn't just, did we finish the building? It's about what you truly built to protect it, your team, and your investment along the way. Have you just built a project, or have you actually built a fortress?